Today is the 5th of September. It's Friday morning, 2025. Well, I've entitled this message this morning, God Hates Pride. Obadiah 1:3 says, The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, Who shall bring me down to the ground? God hates pride. Pride is mentioned 46 times in the Bible. Leviticus 26:19, And I will break the pride of your power, and I will make your heaven as iron and your earth as brass. Daniel 5:20, But when his heart was lifted up and his mind hardened in pride, he was deposed from his kingly throne, and they took his glory from him. Psalm 59:12, For the sin of their mouth and the words of their lips let them even be taken in their pride, and for the cursing and lying which they speak. You know, one of the main things that Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed for was their pride. Psalm 31:20. Ezekiel 16:49. Behold, this was the iniquity of thy sister Sodom, pride. Daughters, neither did she strengthen the hand of the poor and needy. Psalm 31:20. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. Proverbs 8:13, The fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride and arrogancy, and the evil way and the forward mouth do I hate. You know, I'm not going to mention his name, but there was a very well-known evangelist that used to have a radio program every day, and sometimes I would tune in and listen to him, and I told my wife one time the way he was coming across, I said, is there anything that man doesn't know? Is there anything he doesn't know? Sometimes, well, the Bible says knowledge puffeth up, doesn't it? The more someone knows, the more some people know about a subject, the more prideful they get. I've often said, have you ever been in a room and somebody walked in the room and they have the presence of, do you know who I am? You know. Isaiah 25:11, And he shall spread forth his hands in the midst of them, as he that swimmeth spreadeth forth his hands to swim, and he shall bring down their pride together with the spoils of their hands. I recently was looking at a instant message thing by a friend of mine who was recounting in his early life how God had blessed him with over 1,000-acre farm, and things were going really well, and he said, I became somewhat prideful. He bought a new combine and had all these crops, and then all of a sudden all the crops were destroyed, and he had to end up selling his new combine to eat. You know, God has a way of humbling us. I know there's been many times I've been humbled throughout my life. Whenever you start relying upon yourself or your own abilities, God has a way of showing you pretty quick your pride. Jeremiah 49:16. That thy terribleness hath deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, that holdest the height of the hill. Though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord. First Samuel 17:28. I know thy pride, and the naughtiness of thine heart, for thou art come down that thou mightest see the battle. Sometimes we're so filled up with pride that we don't even see it in ourselves. Other people can see it in us though, can't they? Proverbs 16:18. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Job 41:34. He beholdeth all high things. He is a king over all the children of pride. Moab was very proud. There's many passages in the Bible that talk about the pride of Moab. Isaiah 16:6. We have heard of the pride of Moab. He is very proud, even of his haughtiness and his pride and his wrath, but his lies shall not be so. Jeremiah 48:29. We have heard of the pride of Moab. He is exceeding proud, his loftiness and his arrogancy and his pride and the haughtiness of his heart. Proverbs 13:10. Only by pride cometh contention, but with the well-advised is wisdom. Well, Proverbs 29:23. A man's pride shall bring him low, but honor shall uphold the humble in spirit. This message is to myself as much as anyone else. It's real easy to get proudful and haughty and think we have all the answers, isn't it? Job 33:17. That he may withdraw man from his purpose and hide pride from man. Well, Nebuchadnezzar finally realized how proudful he was. And at the end he said, now I, Nebuchadnezzar, Daniel 4:37, now I, Nebuchadnezzar, praise and extol and honor the King of heaven, all whose works are truth and his ways judgments, and those that walk in pride he's able to abase. Nebuchadnezzar found out, didn't he? Zephaniah 2:10. They shall have for their pride, because they have reproached and magnified themselves against the people of the Lord of hosts. Isaiah 9:9. And all the people shall know, even Ephraim and the inhabitant of Samaria, that say in pride and stoutness of heart. Sometimes we need to humble ourselves before God and ask Him to remove our pride. 2 Chronicles 32:26. Notwithstanding, Hezekiah humbled himself for the pride of his heart, both he and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, so that the wrath of God came not upon them in the days of Hezekiah. Psalm 36:11. Let not the foot of pride come against me, and let not the hand of the wicked remove me. Psalm 10:4. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts. Well, let us ask the Lord this morning to remove our pride and cause us to be humble before Him and seek His face. May the good Lord be with you today is my prayer. God bless.